the meantime, and here we are for another weekly session. Market structure with Aussie and Sexy in the house too, as honor guest as always. Thank you for being here, mate. Thank you. Okay, team. Let's do a little bit of a peek as to what the market is doing, because we've had a crazy week slash, I guess, week to come as well. So you can see we always start with the dollar, which obviously gives us a bit of an indication as to what the US is doing. And you can see in these candles, this is on a daily, there's a lot of indecision. Like these candles here, they're telling us there's a lot of indecision right now. There's no bull, there's no bears, the market doesn't know what they're doing. So that obviously translates into all sort of assets, not just forex, but also obviously indices and commodities and our very own love crypto. So there's a lot of indecision. We just have to weigh it out. It's been a little bit of a hard one to trade as well on the forex side of things, because you can look at, like, on a 3-day, it was pretty clear. I had this target right here as potential come up mitigation for the dollar, then reversal, but it's taking a little bit of time, and this massive imbalances left behind on the dollar side. So I'm expecting some sort of bullish potential dollar news, which of course will be a buy to sell move, because the overall direction of the dollar is going to be on the downside. But I am also prepared, as you can see here by the black arrow, for a smaller move, and this potentially could be it. Take out these highs maybe and then start reversing down. We already filled a fair chunk of fair value gaps here and here, so or imbalances, however you want to call them. So bit of a hard one to trade in the dollar, but overall I think we will at least fill this imbalance right here, and then potentially even this one here. Obviously when the dollar goes up, that means that usually, and I say usually because it's not the case anymore necessarily, but the assets tend to go on the opposite direction. So think gold, think BTC, and all those. So with the dollar kind of out of the way, we just have to wait and see what happens here. We have formal liquidity on the up and the down. Let's have a look at what Bitcoin is doing. So BTC has been interesting to say the least. Obviously on the higher time frame, we can see we have made some sort of structure here, and now we keep making this lower highs and lower lows, but we have potentially made a higher low here, potentially, right? Like that's if we don't go down below and close under here. So a little bit early to say at this stage. This is on a daily, a bit of scribbles here from a previous call. I apologize. Let me just clean up this chart a bit, and then let's have a little look-see on the 4-hour what's happening. So I think I called this today, right? The BTC buy. So I was interested in this buy when I saw on a 4-hour some breaker structure. Obviously we can see this was the high and this was the low. But then on the 1 hour, we can see that we're starting to make some higher highs. As soon as we see that, that is a potential indication that we might be ready to push up, and push up we did. Unfortunately, we didn't quite get to the level that I was aiming for. I was aiming to that entry right there, which was on a 30 minutes candle. It was a pretty clear 30 minutes manipulation. This one right here. I don't know if you can see. Let me know in the chats if you see why we took this trade. So we had a high, we had a lower low, we had a lower high, and then again lower low, and then we started to make it lower high, lower low, and then here we started to break structure on the 30 minutes anyway. So on a low time frame, right? As soon as we see that, we can start to see that there's a potential reversal happening. This was the point where we decide, okay, the market is taking a turn, change of character, and then we see this massive 30 minutes manipulation, which is a huge candle down, taking out these equal lows, taking out liquidity with this 1 week, and that when you see this kind of candles and combine them with a breaker structure, clean breaker structure on lower time frame, that is our green signal to pay attention. to what the market is doing, right? So I have an alert, and actually I've got a limit set, more than an alert. I've got a limit already set here. I do really like this candle for level 30 minutes candle right here. So my entry 1 is at 83614, and my entry 2 is at the bottom of this wick, because that's obviously where we have left that liquidity at 82.5, call it 82.500. This is kind of what I'm playing with BTC. I do see now on a 30 minutes we are struggling to push higher. You can see the last, what is it, 1, 2, 3 candles. This one is still printed. It's 20 minutes, so just call it 2. This is obviously a big push high. We took out these equal highs right here with this wick, and when that happens, usually we are preparing to see potentially a reversal. So seeing this high not closing above this high potentially tells us there's a temporary lower time frame push down still to happen, and you can see this was obviously quite a big level of liquidity. This was the equal high that we're taking out here. So I'm still expecting this 30 minutes candle to be retested at some stage, potentially soon, and that is going to be my Bitcoin long. Okay, so alerts are set. If you are like us in Australia, it's now getting into the night, evening. It's 8:40 p.m. I'm not going to be on the charts, so I'm happy to take a trade if and when it comes to that stage. The stop, I want to put it relatively tight, so below this equal highs down here. So I don't want to be playing on major levels, which will be down below. If the market does flush, so be it. I'm only risking 1%. So Bitcoin in the short term, I'm expecting a short push down to potentially push up, and this will be obviously a big test. The very interesting test will be once we get into this candle. Once and when we start retesting this huge candle, market-wise, this will be very much a decision that the market will have to do. What do we do? Do we push higher, or do we reject and we push back lower? So nothing to worry about it now. We're not there yet, but this is the level that I'm looking at anyway. So Bitcoin long set. ETH. ETH, I had as we know, a long set for a little bit lower. I've actually pushed down my entry, and I did ping everyone on Discord. So this was entry 1 down here, which wasn't anyway. But the reason why I decided to lower this entry was basically I have a bias which tells me we are going to push lower, and on a weekly we can see this 2 weekly candles effectively pushing low before a very explosive move up, you can see. So we made a sell to buy move here. So this could potentially be an entry 1 still if you wanted it to be. I'm trying to mitigate my risk a little bit better, and I want to be trying to snatch the best possible scenario. And I say that because there's still 1, 2 equal lows that form obviously this major area of liquidity. So I am expecting somehow ETH to potentially get down here, stall, flush, and then move up. So this area of liquidity right here is still very much an area of interest for me. So technically you could have 3 entries, but I'm not going to take this one up here. That's why I moved it down. And if you wanted to, this could be an entry 2 at the equal lows. So this is where I'm sitting on ETH at the moment, a little bit far away. Obviously, we are at 1875, and my entry is at 1633. So there's $200, $250 roughly that we've got to drop, but that could happen very quickly. And I do like the fact that we are leaving imbalances behind, of course. So this is a nice area to target for potentially a push up before we reverse. So this could be a nice TP level for ETH. Nothing yet to show me that the character has changed. We are still very much in a bearish downtrend momentum. So even on a 4-hour, I don't really consider this a break of structure, because this little move right here, so this is a one move, so I don't consider this a structural high or low. That's just a move. So until we effectively start closing, sorry, that was not very straight, until we start closing above this level, the 2020 level, we are not in a bullish trend for it just yet. So, but you can see this nice fair value gap or imbalances on the 4 hours as well. We'll see. So Lana, and while I go through some charts, please in the chats feel free to ask any questions. Feel free to add any charts that you want to check later on. We'll have a little look-see. This is a trade that I didn't even have the time to call out today, but I did end up taking on a scalp. I'm not 100% sure. I've already moved my stop loss to break even, but the reason why I did that is pretty simple. So I was on the charts this morning, literally coffee in hand. I saw this big line of liquidity being taken out here. I was like, okay, cool, great. Let's take a quick fib there to there. Where are we at? We're at the AS6, want to punt, and I entered. So very small risk, not the prettiest of trades by any means, but effectively just a little scalp, right? Like nothing too pretty. I wanted to give it a go because I wasn't really in any trades. My BTC didn't enter, my ETH is still far away, and my XRP, as we're about to see later, missed by a smidge. So I wanted to have some exposure to the market. 1%, not much of the portfolio account for leverage. So happy to be in this little scalp. But as I said, I'm already in break even for a stop. And Solana, it is kind of giving us not much at the moment. There is a lot of liquidity being built on all fronts. So obviously we took downside liquidity here in this move, but we have a lot of as well upside liquidity and potentially down here as well. So we could very much see some sort of move like that again. Early to tell yet. Effectively we're just in a channel. That's what we're doing. We're doing bang, 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 bang. So nothing too exciting in the market at the moment. I don't know if you guys have had any other trades that have excited you. For me personally, the one that I was hoping it would hit was XRP, which, as you can see, good morning from America. Velo, I will cover Velo shortly. I'm happy to cover Velo as well as AERO and a few others. We are talking DeFi. Okay, cool. Let's keep going. So for now, XRP was the one that I was. Oh, sorry. I was waiting for it to hit. Obviously, we can see which candle. I usually highlight them there. I write the time frame so it's easy for you guys to see. So this was the candle of interest for me, and I obviously dragged it all the way to the entry, and you can see that was literally just the entry missed by a smidge. But for some of you the entry hit, which I'm stoked because now you'll be in profit, and we would have hit pretty much a TP1. I do want to see XRP clearly, and I mean clearly, like strongly, start breaking up higher to give me a confirmation, because at a higher time frame XRP is not looking all too peachy, I gotta say. So actually was looking earlier today, I was thinking maybe reallocating some of my XRP profits. I've got entries down below here, potentially rolling them over into something like Casper or something else, but you can see XRP is pretty much fighting for its life. So if we start closing below this this area right here, it might get a little bit ugly. So it's really important for XRP to start showing some strength and start closing above this $2.50 again. Will it happen now thanks to tariffs, ISO 220, all that jazz? We don't know. All we know is that if you do have some XRP entries that are sub 60 cents really, and you haven't taken any profit, I strongly recommend you do take a little bit, however you're comfortable to take. Personally, I'm almost 50% out of my XRP position, and I'm considering taking another 25% off. My profits are still very much higher. My take profit levels are 450 and 550 as final, but to be perfectly honest, probably for this cycle I would set my final TP at 350. So that's kind of where I'm sitting on XRP. And look, XRP could pull another one of these ones. Like, it's notoriously boring to look at. It's the most boring pair of all. Like, you can see this was, what is that, 2.5 years of nothing, right? This is what XRP does. But then when it moves, this is the kind of moves that it does. So will it happen now? I don't know. I reckon it's going to happen a little bit down the track, not just yet. And talking about ISO 220, which was obviously XRP, another coin that is at a very good level, in my opinion, personally, for portfolio play and potentially for leverage play as well, is Quant. I know that I shared it in the list of coins that I'm looking at currently. So you can see on a 3-day, we're at a very good level here. Obviously, structure from the low to the high, we are bang on at the AA6, which is a very good risk to reward currently. It needs to start showing us some strength here. So we obviously taken major liquidity out here. We are starting to trade into this big 3-day candle right here, and now what we want to see is, you can see this big area of liquidity. You can all see it. I hope it's equal lows after equal lows, sorry, equal high after equal high, and obviously we also have made equal lows. So we've got liquidity up here and we've got liquidity down here. So ideally, what I'm looking for Quant, which will be my entry for leverage and also for spot, is a grab of liquidity on the downside to then proceed higher. So that's the ideal scenario, which will give us obviously a very nice risk to reward. We want to put the stop below the previous lows, and this is kind of a potential almost active leverage play. You can see we already tapped this level once and twice, but these last two taps have actually formed this equal lows. So I like to see them taken out before I actually enter the trade. So just so that you know how to read my charts, when you see the entry here, doesn't mean that I enter it here. It's when I usually put the buy or the sell from when I was looking at the idea. So I was looking at the idea right here, and then obviously the market actually tapped it, so I could have taken some profit here, but I'm not actually in this idea currently. But you can see here the equal, that was not straight again, so obviously equal lows right here. Quant, yeah, spot and potential leverage. So we also take a quick peek at Radium. So Radium is another one that I shared in the coins that I think currently are at a very good level. Massive expansion here from $1.30 to $8.50. Many of us, I think, including Sexy, including Greeny, including Craig, we kind of exited a big chunk between the 7 and the 8, and that was obviously the right move, because you can see we've retraced all the way back down to $1.3. So I still got a little bit of left, not much, but I am actually thinking to start re-adding. These are Radium is retraced all the way, Sexy, all the way to $1.30. So really good level to potentially re-enter, I think. Obviously, we know Radium plays a major part in the whole Solana ecosystem. Plenty of liquidity there, and they got perpetuals now. So there's no reason why they shouldn't figure things out, in my opinion. And you can see, obviously, I think all-time high is definitely not out of the cards. I do think we're gonna at least retest the last highs, which was $1.80. Yeah, Pump Fund was grabbing a larger portion of the volume currently, but I do think that as we get into more mainstream potential Solana adoption, institution will pivot more towards, you know, your Radium, your Jupiter for DeFi. So yeah, I don't see any BlackRock potentially wanting to F around with Pump Fund, if it makes sense. They're probably gonna stake a bunch of the Solana ecosystem coins into more established protocols per se. Radium has been around for now, I think at least one cycle, if not two. So they've got things dialed out. Yeah, so Radium, obviously we can see daily we are starting to push a little bit higher. We've made a low, and now we potentially made a higher low. So if we start closing up above, we retest this level right here, which could potentially actually be a short here, temporary though. It wouldn't be a long short, because I do expect them potentially to keep going up. So if you do want to play, this was my chart literally 3 days ago. If you did take it, I decided, you know, portfolio is looking really good. You'll already be up about 10%, I think, or thereabouts. Let's have a look. What is it? No, not even, maybe. Yeah, you'll be up 9% on spot. So that's a good call. Obviously, we can see now on 4 hours. Yeah, I think we're going to push higher. I do think Radium, it's looking like it's going to grab this liquidity and potentially push higher. We've got to see what's going to happen at this level first. And lots of imbalances here left to fill. So definitely good area to potentially take profit. And you can see on the fib extension level, obviously we're taking the low to the high. We've managed to tap the 702 just below the 618, which is a institutional level, and the fib extension would take us to the 2618 to $3.80, which is somewhere into this imbalance, which I really like as a take profit. So even if we were to adjust our TP slightly, it will be possibly here. So a solid 1 to almost 6 risk to reward, but we'll see. So if you're not in this, I guess, trade both on a spot level and a leverage level, I'll say just wait for retest. Wait until Radium does some sort of move like this, and then potentially can enter here or here. Okay. Obviously that is for spot. Ideally, if you want to play leverage, we've got to be a bit more precise, and probably look at this 4-hour candle, which jumps out at me already, which is this one right here. So we could potentially look at this 4-hour candle at the just below $1.80. So is that $1.86? Call it $1.84, 1804. So something like this for Radium potential entry. Let me just put it here. Something like this. So $1.8047. Risk will be somewhere here, and then you will continue going higher. Okay. So this could be an entry right there. Let's have a quick look at AVAX or AVAX. We obviously caught the short, and I'm fully out. I did say I was out, and I'm happy I exited. Yeah, I didn't catch the perfect exit, but it's pretty close. This was a really nice trade. I think the daily was so clear. I mean, you can see structure was obviously bearish. We have here this major candle, which was a clear buy to then sell move. So pretty easy to spot this institutional manipulation. You just basically just box it up, highlight it, wait for a retest, which we did. And then what we did was just going down and scale it down into the 4 hours and just wait for a grab of this liquidity. We did it, and then just enter on a market current market price. And yeah, we got a nice move on the downside. So there's about 200%, just shy of 200%. Oh, actually no, 180% on leverage, depending obviously on your multiplier that you use. But yeah, I think now we started potentially to move higher. Obviously we're creating liquidity, so AVAX and potentially the market is looking for a temporary relief, I think, but there's too much indecision. I'm happy to be out, sitting out these trades at the moment when there's so much indecision. There's just not a lot for me to look at in terms of being completely sure about it. You never be completely sure, but to be confident about your trades. Okay, let's have a look at Velo, not Aerial. Velo. Let's have a look at Velo. Velo. This is Velodrome. finance. Let's take a look at it. All right, so what do we have? All right. So looks like I had this chart already. Looks like I actually took it. Okay, so it took some profit. It's not looking great. I mean, we've swept major liquidity below here. So we swept all that. And now, yeah, we need to, like the rest of the market, we need to see some sort of strong reaction from this 1 hour, sorry, from this daily candle, which is printed across pretty much all tickers. So once we start seeing some strength, then sure, we can have a look at it. Let's have a look at the volume real quick. It's not volume either. So yeah, there's nothing really there that is screaming buy or sell at the moment. Is obviously in a bearish downtrend. Nothing there for me to entice me. There's no clear breaker structure. There's a lot of wicks on the up. Obviously this is highly manipulated. Yeah. Just wait for some more confirmation. I say floppy. Yeah, let's just wait for that. And then what was I looking at? I was looking at yeah, I had a confused error. Sorry, this is another DeFi project. But yes, similar. You can see everything is kind of similar at the moment. Let's have a look at some stocks. We had Snapchat from a couple of weeks ago now. I keep saying it, entering an option. I haven't called it out yet. I am waiting, but I'm so close. Like every day, I'm checking this chart every day, because obviously for us in Australia, the time where we can trade options, because unlike the crypto market, right, options and stocks, you have to trade them when the when New York is open. If only everything was tokenized, right? Enter BlackRock soon. BlackRock is going to tokenize everything, I reckon. That's what they're pretty much saying. But anyway, I'm going on a tangent. Yeah, you got to take these options when the market is open. And for me, the market is open basically at 11:30 at night and up until 5 a.m. So it's like really inconvenient to take them. And I keep getting alerts like enter option. I'm just waiting. What am I waiting for? I'm basically waiting for all these equal lows to be taken out. Take them out already. Come on. This will be one quick sweep of liquidity and a sharp move up, which I'm fine with, because I'll probably miss the perfect entry here. But when I do enter Snapchat, I'm gonna enter a 2-year option. So even if I don't catch the absolute precise entry, my target is so up high. I'll probably take it until December 2026. So it's gonna be a little while away, but you know, time is patience and is your best ally when it comes to stock and portfolio building. It's not get rich quick. That's not what we do here. So, but yeah, Snapchat, put an alert, do what I did. You know, highlight the equal lows. Obviously, you can see them down here. 1, 2, 3. Once we clear those and potentially tap into the lower liquidity level, I'm expecting this to start moving pretty quick. And the next stock that I'm actually not waiting for, I am going to take an option trade. I'll have a look at the option. I think it was $1,600 for this option to take for 2 years. So I'm deciding whether I want to take this as an option or just buy some stocks. Is PayPal Holdings. So obviously PayPal, they've got the earnings coming up soon in end of April. So in a few weeks, their previous 2 earnings were all positive. So they are obviously now very much involved in crypto. I don't see why this should be bearish by any means. And you can see on a weekly, this is on a weekly chart, so we are very much in high time frame. We have swept liquidity, we're starting to push up, we are making higher lows, and now we've fully broken structure and printed potentially a higher low to then start moving higher. So again, this will be a really good holding to have in your portfolio if you want some institutional grade and relatively low risk stocks. PayPal, obviously, it's it's everyone knows it, everyone uses it around the world, but you can see beautiful area of liquidity taken out. If you do Fibonacci from the low to the high, as we do, we are now spank on the 786, which is our favorite area to take trades off, and I am going to take this trade one of these days when I find it in myself to be up until 11:30 at night, which for an old man like me, it's very late. I am not young chicken anymore. I'm not chicken anymore. I'm an old fellow rooster. So PayPal, put it on your radar, fellow US friends. Buy this today. I would if I was in your timeline. And then obviously Coinbase, we talked about it many times. I did say basically anything in the green area, in this green box, is long-term a really good investment, I think. And this was the scribble from now, what is it, a month ago almost. I am looking for this effectively just liquidity to be taken down. So once we see this liquidity taken out, then yeah, sure, I am gonna go heavy. But I have been actually buying a little bit of stock of Coinbase as we dip lower, because I do think this is easily $400-500 stock. We'll definitely go higher once we kick into gear. And another one, just like PayPal, which is today's buy, today's price buy in my eyes, is Google, which is obviously Google, the ticker. We have now officially tapped the AA6 level on a daily, which is fantastic. We're still very much on a bullish trend on a higher time frame, but unless we start flashing and there's a broader market flush, I don't see why this stock shouldn't potentially keep going higher. So much happening right now in IT, Google, learn language model, AI agents, Gemini, all that stuff. So their earnings are also coming up end of April. I am seeing from a developer perspective, sorry, my Google decided to talk. Obviously, here's a ring in there. Yes, I'm gonna buy some of you, don't worry. There is a lot of not so much speculation, but effectively tech being released with Gemini and all of the learn language model from a dev perspective. So I'm bullish on the stock, bullish on the tech. There's a lot of acquisition potentially. They're about to, you can see, look at this, Google finalized a $32 billion acquisition of cloud security company Wiz. There is a lot of bullish news when it comes to Google in the next at least couple of years, I think personally. So again, low risk stock. There is a risk in everything we do, of course. Stocks are overinflated currently, so doesn't mean that we're never going to see a lower or a crash, but at $150 for potentially a high of 200, I see a pretty good risk to reward there. This is kind of my 35 minutes of rambling on what I'm looking at the moment. I'm not really looking at any of the altcoins. The reason is until we have a clear direction as to what Bitcoin is doing, of course, we're just basically speculating on things like altcoins. Obviously, we had a nice trade which is still going for grass. You can see this is a beautiful trade. I think we covered it last week, but if we didn't, why did we take this trade which is still going and it's the only one is really pumping? We built this trade by a combination of Fibonacci, so from the low to the high of the cycle we tapped AA6 and we obviously highlight that, and then we took again a fib from that wick to the high, and we have found a beautiful channel which was a combination of a 786 and a 786, otherwise known as a fib cluster. And from that we can see that was our entry, and yeah, that's how we got to that trade which is still running, still very much in profit. Happy to let it run. I am trailing my stop loss, meaning I am moving my stop loss as we go higher. So instead of just closing the trade, obviously we're taking take profit 1, taking take profit 2. Instead of moving or just closing my trade, I'm basically just trailing my stop higher and higher and higher. Okay, so if you're on this trade, which I hope you are, just know that this is about to break at any moment, because this big trend line liquidity is getting primed to be taken out. So S&P 500, yeah, nice, for sure. Yeah, we're gonna see a reversal soon. But yeah, if you are into grass, just be careful. This is obviously a very big level of liquidity being built, and we will see it taken out soon or later. And what Sexy was saying is S&P 500. We are obviously looking at a nice potential. What time frame are you on? You're on the weekly. So what he's looking at is basically an Elliott wave. There went, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, and mind you, the 4 could potentially get as low as the 1, and then potentially a 5. Now for S&P 500 to go and touch these levels, it will be catastrophic for the market. This will be called an absolute bloodbath from a stock perspective, but stranger things have happened and much bigger crashes have happened. So I do like this. I do like a retrace of S&P, especially potentially below this this level of liquidity is down here, and then yeah, as close as maybe down here. So something like this. This is a chart that in the long term goes up because everybody puts money in the 401k. And if you listen to Warren Buffett, that's what he tells us, basically just keep putting money in S&P 500. But really, you gotta outweigh and outfast a thing called inflation. So your aim should be to beat the S&P 500, not to go the same pace. Okay? But anyway, I'm going in a little tangent there. Cool. Any questions, guys, in the chat? Any charts that you want to have a quick peek at? Or feel free to unmute yourselves, and the floor is open. Inflation. It's like the 2 words that you cannot use in Aussie's vocabulary without giving me PTSD is the I word, inflation, and the N word, which I'm gonna get you guys. It's not what you're thinking. It's not the N word. It's NFTs. Don't use that word. Gives me PTSD. Somebody in the chat, your currency. Oh dear. Okay. Sweet. Yeah, the krona, hey? The krona. So when are you guys gonna get also acquired by the US together with Greenland? Just teasing. Just teasing. Just teasing. Yeah, the one Norway, not us. Oh, I know. Tell you what, Sweden. I don't know if I ever told you the story, Sixty, but Sweden was on my top 3 countries. So when I moved away, I'm not from Australia originally. I'm Italian. When I moved away from Italy, I had 3 countries on my short list, and they were Sweden, just because I traveled extensively through there and I fell in absolute love. I had Canada. And then I had Australia. I wanted to move to a country that worked. So Sweden, obviously, beautiful country, especially back then in 2008. It was everything just pristine and everything just works. I love it. But it was too cold. Days were not long enough. And then 2008, I was like, Canada, probably too close to the United States. Not that I don't like the United States. I tried them extensively. It just, there's a lot of uncertainty. So I decided for Australia, and yeah, here I am, still to this day. Yeah, we only have trash and forest. Bro, you don't only have beautiful country and forest. You also have beautiful women, beautiful food. There's many beautiful things in Sweden. Even though I know that now the immigration side of things has gone pretty bad. I have a couple of Swedish friends that I talk to every very every so often, and they're like, bro, like you wouldn't recognize this country. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, like crime, and you probably preaching to the choir because you live there. So I feel bad because such a beautiful country that has been ruined by poor immigration policies yet again. And I don't want to get political because I'm apolitical, but yeah. Oh wow, 3,000 people in the village is really not that much, so you can probably pick them up pretty quick. Yeah, the birds are great. The UK support us whenever the plague is Sweden. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Oh, closest city's 35 minutes drive. Bro, come to Australia. Come. You can stay with me. I'll stay with you. We'll swap. I moved away from Brisbane, which is probably the sleepiest of the large cities here in Australia, because it was too busy for me. So now I live in a small seaside village here in Australia, and I love it. Not a city person myself. Nah, I can't do city. Can't do city. I've done city for many years. I was in my flying days back in the days. So yeah. Cool beans, cool beans. All right, team. Well, if anyone has any questions, doesn't look like there's many coming through. I think I've covered a little bit of structure and what we look for before we enter a trade, break a structure. If there's any questions, either on the live or even if you are listening to this on the replay, please feel free to comment down below and let me know what you'd like to see more of, or just any questions you might have, and I'll be gladly answering them in our awesome GTG group. So other than that, I will let you guys go and have a fabulous day if you are in America or in Europe, and not a lot of questions what the market decides. That's right there, T-Bone. Exactly that. There's not a lot that we can do. You know, these sessions are good for basically go over some basics and why we take trades. There's not a lot of setups that present themselves, and the very important thing to consider is we don't want to force trades either. So if the trade is not clear, there's no reason for us to force a trade and take a setup without high conviction. So with that being said, thanks team for joining us yet again, and I'll see you guys and girls another week, in a week from now. Ciao.